Hi, my name is Colton Leahy. You must forgive me. It's been a while since I've uploaded, but for a while, it's been difficult for me to get my words out. I find it difficult to get out what I have to say lately. It's been tough. I just don't want to make another one of those videos that I always end up doing where I rant about insignificant bullshit. I just want to be real for a couple of seconds and see if that's too much to handle. I live on a small island called Cape Breton Island. You could say that the people that live here are survivors because we fight to get through. We really do. Our government threw us over the board a long time ago. So there's not been very much development in that sector over the years. And it doesn't take a political scientist with their major in order to figure something like that out. Regardless, I've grown up in this society and I've observed it, and I've observed the people that I've encountered and what I've learned while I've been here living in this place. And then, of course, the internet invades our life, right? Everything that we do, the internet is a part of it too, you know what I mean? So we feel the need to document and record everything. And I can't, I've been changing so much that I don't even see the point. I don't see the point of me making this video because I know that I know that there's not very much attention being brought to this subject. I wish that there was. I wish that more people focused on the stuff that mattered. I've been I've been goofing off a lot lately. Like you seen in my previous video where I was pretending to be Alex Jones. That was pretty cringy. It was unscripted. Everything was just I just made it up on the spot. I don't even feel like I'm as creative as I used to be. Like I used to be really, really quick-witted with coming up with really good stuff. But unfortunately, the material's been dry lately, and I'm so overcritical. I write stories, but I read them and I'm just like, shit, everything's shit. Everything sucks. This isn't good enough. This isn't the way I pictured it in my head. Everything sucks. And that's just, it's not a very positive mindset to have. But I'm starting to change, and I'm going to finish that story. I do. I have to get that done, even in spite of everything that's going on. I want to see it through to the end, just like this geoengineering stuff. I want to see that through to the end as well. As you can see, it's been very hot the past few days. Not just here in Cape Breton either. I've been keeping a watch on the climate in many different parts of the world. And I know that in northeast United States it is especially hot, especially in New York City. I imagine it feels like an oven in there. I'll tell you why it's so hot there, because of the pavement, the concrete. So because New York City is just this big block of buildings, of concrete and cement and all the other stuff, it's a good conductor for heat, right? So it's like baking in an easy bake oven. It's pretty, I'd hate to be it. But that's what we're experiencing right now. And tomorrow it's going to go up to 37 degrees Celsius. So fancy that. That's the hottest we've ever had in Cape Breton. And believe me, I know. I remember my childhood very clearly. We used to get as high as 33. It's 34 degrees right now. That's abnormal. It's abnormal. But tomorrow it's going up to 37. I could tell you that the geoengineers have been manipulating moisture, and they have been using chemical ice nucleation agents in order to cool us off. So I would suspect that it would be much hotter than it is right now, right? And forgive me, I use my hands a lot to explain things. I'm an articulate person. I know that's easy to nitpick when I do those things, but some things old habits are hard to break, right? So yeah, I do the things with my hands, but I'm just talking about the temperature. It's really hot, and it's going to get hotter, and I know this. I know this for a fact, and it's like everything that I feared. Everything that I feared. And that's just it, right? Lately, it's like people think that I'm just like a fear monger. I perpetuate fear. And I've also been pretty angry lately because a lot of bad shit's been going on, so I seem like a person of hatred and rage. But I'm not like that at all. If you actually like got to know me in real life, I'm very chill. I do not, well, let's take a step back. Certain people can really piss you off and rub you the wrong way. All they have to do is say that, you're selfish and you only care about yourself. Maybe people are just inherently selfish people, but there's degrees, right? It's on a spectrum. Certain people are more selfish than others. Wouldn't you agree? So with that being understood, I've always been willing to understand where I went wrong or where I was out of line. But in this particular circumstance, at this particular time, I don't feel like I am out of line. I feel like I'm doing what I feel is the right thing, with my best judgment. I've been failing a lot lately. I failed university, right? I wrote down the wrong time for my exam, and I showed up late for my exam, and they wouldn't let me rewrite it, so I flunked university. I was a failure. I felt defeated. One of my first jobs, I worked at a fast food restaurant, KFC. They kept throwing me around different shifts. Like, you're supposed to get trained in one specific area first. At first, I was a cook, but they threw me in the drive-through, and then they threw me on cashier, and they kept revolving me around, and it was nuts. That place is chaotic as hell. And then after all of us left, like after that staff was like retired, it's been a different staff ever since, and that's why it's been slower. And anyways, I'm getting so off topic. The point is, I know what it feels like to feel like you're an absolute fucking loser. Like, it's the worst feeling in the world when things don't go the way that you hope, or when your career path doesn't and pan out quite the same as what you were hoping for. Doesn't mean that you can't still pursue something. As long as people have something to pursue, something that drives them, then that's really all that you need. And as it is, I'm getting things together in my life. I'm going back to school. I'm going to get a part-time job, and things are going to be all right. I'll probably cut back on my marijuana smoking, but it's difficult. Like, I've been through a lot of really difficult, challenging things. And people always question my sanity, so it's pointless for me to, try to use rationale with people who aren't using their rationale. So how can I explain reason to someone if they aren't using reason? How does that work? How am I supposed to have a conversation with someone if they aren't being reasonable with me, even though I'm trying to be reasonable with them? Right? That's a fair point. So I just want to have a dialogue, and normally when I hang out with my friends, I don't even pressure them into uncomfortable topics that they don't want to talk about. So I don't know, like, there's no point in pretending like, I'm pressuring it or I'm pushing it. I'm forceful because I have to be. I can't be lukewarm. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and that's where I've been feeling these extremes. I'm trying really hard to be happy and live a normal social life, get along with other people, but you have to change in order to fit people's approval. Like, I have to change in order to be liked by certain people. But I don't do that, so the only people I am friends with are people that already like me for who I am, so I don't need to change. Doesn't mean that we won't change, though. We're always changing. We're always going to. And it's a difficult thing. But that's the way it is. So even though it's been a tough year, tough start, and things might not always pan out the way that you hoped, doesn't mean that you can't just eventually reach some level of consistency where you can be content. And that's where I was trying to get to before, about consistency. When I make stuff, I want it to be consistently good. And when I fail, I always beat myself up over it because I'm the biggest critic of myself. That's why I don't make very many videos. I always feel, oh, they're too long, they're too fucking boring. I can't make them. But here we are approaching 10 minutes, so I'm going to cut it short now. Maybe another time I'll give my thoughts on something. I'm just trying to organize things right now. I'm just trying to enjoy my summer. Do you know what I mean? Like, who really gets the time? Who really gets the time? Anyways, I'm out of time. So next time we'll talk about something a little bit more upbeat and positive. I just need to get some shit off my head, just for your consideration, I suppose. Anyways, we'll talk again soon. Like, I'm doing fine. I've been alone for most of my life, so it's like second nature. All I had were my games, right? And I had my grandparents, but they're no longer here. They passed away, so that's no easy thing either. But I'm not using that as a crutch. I'm just I should be allowed to enjoy my little time that I have to myself, right? I got away from work. I got my EI check, so I should be allowed to just sit that out and enjoy it because I did the math, and EI works out to be pretty much the same amount that you get paid when you go to work anyway. Duh. The only difference is that people are like taxpayers pay into EI, a pretty low percentage, mind you. People are so concerned about EI when it's actually the federal tax that's the highest percentage. But it's like we're never mad at the federal government. Shouldn't we be? But it's so much easier to blame common folk because we have class divisions. And right now I'm a millennial, so my credit's pretty well fucked, just like everybody else's is, no doubt. If anybody can honestly tell me they have a perfect credit score, yes, sometimes I meet those people that do, and they actually do. Good for them. Must be great, you know. My credit score is great too, because I never miss my payment, but my credit is shit. Like I have nothing on my credit card. I'm a poor person in some regards, but it's nothing that I'm ashamed of because I have a house. I have air conditioning in here. No one's dying of the heat wave in this house, you know? So that's something to be grateful for. Maybe we should start counting our blessings instead of always focusing on the things that we think that we're missing. Because even though I'm not doing so well financially now, that could easily change, especially if I got back to work and got that better degree. I'd be able to get a better job. It's just difficult to think about that kind of stuff when you feel like, you know, your days are numbered because of the madness going on in the world and with what's happening to the climate, but people don't want to have that conversation. Anyways, I went over my 10-minute limit, did it again. We'll talk again some other time. I'm cutting myself off because, you know, it'll just be another spiel, and then I'll go into something else. So we'll just leave it at that. Until next time, this is Colton Leahy signing off. When I have better content, I'll upload it, but not in this mindset and not during this weather. So, another time.